Namaskar, Namaste, hello everybody. Well, this is a short video about anti-addiction campaign AAC number 362, which happened very recently in BBIT Public School, BUDGE. Well, this was a special campaign because this was also the prize distribution ceremony of AAC 347 and 348, which happened online some months ago during the lockdown. So I traveled to the school. It's a pleasant ride to the school, and I was warmly welcomed by each and every member of the faculty, the staff, headed by the principal, of course, Dr. Munmun, Nath. So it was a genuine feeling of warmth and cordiality, which I received as I entered the campus, beautiful campus. And the first responsibility that I gave to a very sweet little soldier, Rupam Moni. Rupam is also one of the prize winners of anti-addiction campaign number 347. So I gave him the responsibility of taking the photographs and documenting the whole session and the happenings of the whole day, which he did quite effectively. A very obedient, hardworking, and a very well-mannered boy, Rupam Moni. The session started with a very warm welcome speech by Deepika Subba ma'am, the coordinator, and then a very nice poem was recited by a student, and then it was a fantastic welcome song from a group of students, a very favorite song of mine, Ashai. See, at the onset, before the start of any session, I do tell all my soldiers, all the children who are listening to me, that I cannot impose my beliefs on anyone. I cannot force my beliefs on anyone. So you are free to interact with me, and it's like an adda for me, a rendezvous. You know, it's like a chit-chat session where I speak and they are also welcome with their inputs, with their discussions. Only then it becomes very interesting. It's not only a one-way traffic that I keep on speaking and I keep on, imposing my beliefs because I believe you have to believe. It's not that way. It can't happen in that way. The only thing that I do is I believe in this kind of a life. I believe in a healthy life, physically and mentally. I believe in these things. I believe in controlling my mind and staying away from the vices, trying my best to stay away from the vices. And I have, I think I've mastered that art, and I'm able to do that. And health, career, family, etc., and all these things. This is what I believe in. Nowhere down the line can I force my belief on anybody. They are free to, join my hands, which I'll be very happy, because all this hard work, I'm doing it for free, not for money, not for any material gains, only with the hope that I get these young minds to believe me, and we all join hands and form a huge army where we can spread these positive thoughts in the society and save as many lives and families as possible. And the family doesn't turn out to be like my family has suffered, So, and the second option is I don't want to listen to Bobby Dada or Bobby Bhaiya, and I want to go in my path. I want to follow the herd blindly, and I don't want to listen to you. That can be another option. So I tell that openly. So you can take the second option also. I'll be sad. Well, then I can't stop my fight. I'll be going on to another school, and I'll be addressing, and I'll be trying to win over other soldiers from another schoolmate. So the session started, and very soon I started getting the feedbacks and the love and the warmth and the affection from all the students. there was this very enterprising boy, very enterprising soldier, Arjo. Arjo is from grade 9th, the 9th grade. So he came up with a very, very interesting discussion. He raised his hands as we were speaking about the violence in video games and how inherently we don't understand, especially the impressionable young minds. They don't understand that how subconsciously the violence on screen in which they are glued onto, which is giving them pleasure, which is giving them entertainment, which is giving them that kick, which is giving them that satisfaction of winning points and winning a competition. Violence is that mode. So very surely it's not me who is telling all these. It's there all out. It's a proven fact, medical fact, and you'll speak with any psychiatrist, any psychologist. That person, any doctor, any medical person will tell you that this is what is happening. The thin line between the real and the real and the virtual world is getting blurred. So an impressionable mind getting hooked on and getting glued to this violence inherently imbibes that violence in his or her life. And slowly and surely what happens, try to understand what happens, the sense of controlling that violence, that is one. And another fatality that is even more alarming, that you don't have that sense of wrongdoing over a violent act. When you have that sense of violence, before doing any violent act, you'll understand this is a violent act. If I hurt somebody physically, that person is going to be harmed, going to be hurt. So that sense of wrongdoing is getting, it's erased. It's vanishing. So that is more alarming, because now as the society is becoming more violent, more violent, অসহিষ্ণুতা এত বেড়ে যাচ্ছে. So we can see that being reflected on every strata of the society. And if not all, but one of the major reasons is the violence in the form of entertainments. So Arjo came up with this very enterprising question. Arjo said that what about violent movies on big screen or on the OTT platforms? What about that, Bobby Dada? So there is no distinction. There is no distinction. What I told Arjo is you have a choice, Arjo. That is what I'm trying to tell. That is what I'm trying to propagate through my addas. That is what I'm trying to propagate through these sessions. That you have a choice in life to choose the correct path and the wrong path. And nobody is forcing you to take the choices. It's upon your intelligence and your intellect and your education. If you use if you use your education and intelligence properly, you will take the right path. So it's about your choice.
আমার এডুকেশন এন্ড ইন্টেলিজেন্স আমাকে ধিক্কার দেয় যদি আমার বলে ববি এটাকে এডুকেশন বলে পয়সা দিয়ে
Then, as we were speaking about fame, success, this is a very important thing, that needs to be addressed, and I keep on addressing the children. In today's times, again, the definition of fame that the young generation is understanding and imbibing within them, it's totally wrong and totally detrimental, totally fatal. For me, we were discussing this point, and I'll come to another very enterprising soldier named Janice. So what she asked me, I'll come to that. Let me say the point of contention and the point of discussion at that moment was about fame and success. I was speaking about that, and I was trying to explain that what is fame. Fame is something, you tell me if I'm wrong, fame is something, I can give two definitions of fame. Fame, definition number one is either you do good things, constructive things for yourself, for your family, for your society, for the country, for the world. In that way, you stand out of the crowd by doing good things, by doing constructive things. You stand out of the crowd, and that is one way of becoming famous, visible. And another way, which is interlinked with the first definition, of course, you have an inherent talent. That is the way, a talent, pratibha. That is the way you stand out of the crowd. That is the way you are visible, you become famous. And by talent, one doesn't mean exposing yourself in the camera, doing all kinds of obscene things in front of the camera, just to grab eyeballs, just to become visible, saying all kinds of nonsense, all kinds of wrong things, insulting others and making that a profession, roasting, bullying others, abusing others, and trying to grab eyeballs and trying to become visible. So these are not talents. এগুলো তো প্রতিভা নয়। সুতরাং I was trying to tell, Janice asked me, she asked me that, Dada, what according to you is fame and what according to you is success? So I was telling that. And I said that, very slowly and surely the lines of being famous and infamous, বিখ্যাত আর কুখ্যাত, এই জিনিসটা মানুষ বুঝছে না, স্পেশালি ছোটরা। কি করে আমি পপুলার হব, হাউ টু বিকাম পপুলার, দ্যাট পাথ ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। পপুলার মানে ভিজিবল হব, পপুলার মানে you become popular by doing good things. That is not popularity. Famous and infamous, there are two words. So you cannot take your infamous state as a famous state. You are doing wrong things and becoming visible. So there's a huge fight and huge battle on my part to make the young minds understand that what is fame. Those virtual likes, those subscriptions, those views by all your obscene acts in front of the camera and by all the wrong acts in front of the camera doesn't make you famous. That's just an hallucination. I was telling Janice that ask me or ask anybody who has struggled all his life to become visible. This is not, I'm not talking in a pompous state or with a lot of pride, gorbo kore bolchi na, ohomkar niye bolchi. We have struggled a lot. And me, as a person, I've always wanted to do good things for my family and for the society, of course. I think that I can do a lot for the society, only the intention should be there. Even keeping my comfort and my luxury, stable. Not that I'm a sadhu sant kind of an admi. So Janice came up with this very nice question, what is fame and what is success for you? And I said that success is very relative. One person may think successful in the next moment of time when he or she sees another person in front of him or her who is more successful, more visible. That person might think, oh God, no, I'm not successful. That person is successful. Even that person may think the other person who is more successful than, it's like it's very relative. So success and fame, the moment you take that in your head, that the moment you think that you have become successful, the moment you think that you have become famous, your battle ends, your challenge for life ends. So I stay away from that. I will always keep away from that. I will never take that in my head. I'll keep on taking every moment and every day as it comes. And don't ponder about being successful, being famous and all of these things. And because these are all relative things. I don't want to become complacent in life.
Fame, there is a word called famous, there is a word called infamous. বাংলা একটি কথা আছে খ্যাত বা বিখ্যাত, আরেকটা কথা আছে কুখ্যাত। ঠিক আছে, এইবার সেখানে আসি যে ফেম, আস্ক মি 20 ইয়ার্স পরে স্ট্রাগল করে আমি মারিন ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলাম, জাহাজে চাকরি করতাম, আমার কোনো দরকার ছিল না ওই চাকরি, হাজার হাজার লাখ লাখ টাকার মাইনে দেওয়া চাকরি ছেড়ে এই প্রফেশনে আসার, যেখানে কোনো স্যালারি নেই, যেখানে কোনো পেনশন নেই। অভিনেতা, কোনো পেনশন নেই, কোনো স্যালারি নেই, কোনো প্রভিডেন্ট ফান্ড নেই, কোনো গ্যারেন্টি নেই যে আপনি ভালো মানুষ বলেই যে আপনি কাজ পাবেন। আর আমার মতন মানুষের তো আরো বেশি তার এগেন্স্টে পলিটিক্স। কিন্তু চ্যালেঞ্জটা তো আমি নিয়েছি, আমি তো হেরে যাইনি, আমি তো সুইসাইড করিনি। যখন আমাকে লোকে অপমান করতো, আমি যখন 92 কেজি ওজন ছিল আমার, লোকে যখন বলতো you look like a bull, I told my mind that you have controlling the mind. I am the king of my mind. I told my mind, I am killing myself. I am 71 kgs now. যখন আমার ছবি দেখে বলে দাদা তোমাকে খুব ভালো লাগছে, I don't feel proud. I want to give you this message. Fight with your life. Life has good days and bad days. That is what life is. প্রত্যেকদিনই ভালো দিন থাকবে কি? থাকবে না। কিন্তু সেই খারাপ দিনগুলোর সাথে ফাইট করার জন্য তোমাকে ফিট থাকতে হবে না আনফিট থাকতে হবে। শুনতে পাইনি?
Mahir, there's another very enterprising soldier. He's from the 9th grade. Again, Mahir came up with this discussion when we were talking about the menace of smartphones in our lives and how it's a necessary evil. We need it like anything. At the same time, we are becoming slaves to that gadget. And through that smartphone, so many evils are becoming, making our minds, invading ourselves, invading us and making us slaves of our mind. The mind is like a villain. So Mahir took up this question and took up this discussion like with the smartphone and how to get control of it. And, the parents are always snatching the smartphones from our hands and whatever. And I say, smartphone is very necessary. You need to win the trust of your parents. So time management is a must. To rule your mind, as far as the smartphone is concerned, time management is a must. You need to train your mind, you need to rule your mind, you need to tell your mind that I'll be using my smartphone from this time to this time and no more. Again, a certain time to certain time and no more. It can't be a 24/7 feature in your hand, in your life. And then there was another very enterprising and very interesting boy, Arunab. Arunab came up with the discussion, which is a very important and topical discussion. The relationship between a boy and a girl and a man and a woman, why is it becoming so temporary? Why is the institution of trust, institution of marriage breaking down so fast? Why isn't there a trust between a relation? Why is it always looked down upon when a relationship happens between a boy and a girl? Why? So it's like something that needs to be discussed because there is a lack of morality, lack of trust, lack of self-respect, which we were speaking about, that a person to become famous, a person, is losing the self-respect, is losing the sense of shame, and trying to be famous and trying to be visible in anything, in every way possible, in any way and every way possible. And it's starting with the young boys and girls. They are doing things, unimaginable, shocking things, thinking that they are becoming famous. So Arunab came up with this discussion and I told Arunab, yes, Arunab, you're right. As we are seeing, the relationships are becoming frail, the relationships are becoming temporary, and there is no coexistence between a man and a woman and everything. Because, there is this intrusion of only the basic instinct between human beings. If only the physical aspect becomes a bigger aspect, if only the sexual part becomes the bigger aspect, the carnal instinct becomes the priority, then we are just animals. We are just animals. Why have we become superior human beings? Because we have controlled that sexual instinct. We have controlled the violent part in us. That's why we have become superior human beings. That is why we live in a society. That is why we live in a family. We live in a neighborhood. But when that carnal instinct becomes a priority, when that carnal instinct hits upon you and you become a slave of that carnal instinct via pornography, that is one of the major reasons. So all that you'll think about is that animal instinct, just like animals. They don't care about living in a society, living in a neighborhood with those liabilities. And overall, the session was a terrific session. Terrific session. And the winners of this session, AAC 362, were Aksha, Neha, and Janice. I was not surprised that Janice won. So I'll be returning to that school, BBIT Public School, very soon, hopefully for another session with all the students of 7th grade, 8th grade, and everybody. When things look up and this partial attendance is erased and there's a full attendance of the students. So till then, I'm the king of my mind, and thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing.